Have you ever woken up, looked around at your life, and quietly thought to yourself, how did I get here? It is not just a passing bad day. It is that heavy, sinking feeling that you are sitting in the passenger seat of your own life while the vehicle is moving entirely too fast. Everything around you feels loud and chaotic. You know you need to make a change, but the sheer volume of things you need to fix leaves you completely paralyzed. So you freeze, and the noise only gets louder. If you are feeling completely lost right now, I need you to hear this. You are not failing. You are simply overwhelmed. And more importantly, you do not need a massive, exhausting life overhaul to get back on track. We do not need to rebuild the entire house today. We're just going to clear a single desk. Take a deep breath with me. Today, we're not fixing everything. We're just going to find the steering wheel together. Now, to understand why you feel so stuck, we have to look at what's actually happening beneath the surface. When your life feels like a relentless storm, it's easy to blame yourself. You call it laziness. You call it a lack of willpower. But science tells a very different story. What you are experiencing is not a character flaw. It's a physiological roadblock, a neurological gap. When you are bombarded by the endless demands of modern adulthood, your brain's alarm system, the amygdala, gets hijacked. It begins to perceive the sheer volume of everyday choices not as simple tasks, but as active threats. Your body quietly floods with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. This prioritizes survival over rational thinking. In this heightened state, the executive center of your brain, which handles logic, planning, and task initiation, essentially shuts down. You see, this is the chemistry of your inertia. This is the core of decision paralysis. It explains why you can sit in your quiet home office with a list of 15 important tasks and spend 2 hours staring at a notebook completely unable to start. It's not an absence of desire. Is that your brain lacks the neurological ignition to begin. Anxiety tricks you into a state of false urgency. It convinces you that you must fix your career, your daily routine, and your mind all by tomorrow morning. You obsessively weigh every outcome until mental fatigue sets in, leading to total avoidance. The storm keeps raging, and you remain frozen in the center of it. You're waiting for a motivation that cannot arrive because your mind is locked in survival mode. When we finally realize we are stuck in this cycle, our first instinct is usually harshness. We try to force ourselves out of the rut through sheer willpower. We wake up, grab a fresh notebook, and write down a rigorous new schedule. We demand a total and immediate overhaul of our daily habits. But trying to discipline your way out of a neurological freeze is like trying to build a heavy roof in the middle of a hurricane. It simply does not work. You cannot punish a nervous system into feeling safe. Instead of forcing your way forward, I want to invite you to try a completely different approach, an almost counterintuitive one: radical gentleness. Radical gentleness means intentionally lowering the bar. It is the profound realization that when life feels deeply chaotic, progress is not about sprinting toward a distant finish line. It is about simply learning how to stand up again. Society conditions us to believe that massive problems require massive, immediate solutions. But when your brain is already overwhelmed, asking it to execute a flawless master plan only triggers more panic and deeper paralysis. To escape the overwhelmed spiral, we have to stop demanding a finished architectural masterpiece. We just need to agree to lay a single, sturdy brick. Now, this mindset shift is not just a comforting philosophy. It is deeply rooted in cognitive behavioral science. When you intentionally lower your expectations to a single, microscopic step, you drastically reduce what psychologists call activation energy. Remember that neurological gap we talked about? By focusing on a task so incredibly small that it feels almost effortless, like placing a single book back on the shelf or simply opening a document, you bypass the brain's threat detection system. You signal safety to your body. You quiet the frantic amygdala and gently coax your prefrontal cortex, the logical center of your mind, back online. In clinical settings, this concept is tied to behavioral activation. It operates on a powerful, liberating truth. Action must precede motivation. When you are lost in the chaos, you cannot wait until you feel ready or inspired to move. Motivation is an emotional luxury your exhausted mind simply cannot afford right now. But momentum is a tangible reality you can build, one quiet, deliberate motion at a time. By embracing radical gentleness, we stop trying to control the turbulent ocean around us. We let go of the impossible weight of fixing everything tomorrow, and we simply focus on holding the oars today.
So how do we actually apply this? How do we build this momentum when the chaos still feels heavy? It begins with 3 highly practical grounding steps. These are designed to gently bring you back to the present moment. Step 1 is the brain dump. Right now, your mind is acting like a tiny room crammed with far too much heavy furniture. Every thought, every obligation, and every unmade decision is colliding. It makes it impossible to walk freely through the space. We have to empty the room. Take a physical piece of paper and write down every single thing circling your mind. The unanswered emails, the disorganized closet, the career worries, and the phone calls you have been putting off. Write until there is absolutely nothing left. Remember, this is not a to-do list. You are not promising to complete these tasks today. This is simply an eviction notice for the anxiety taking up residence in your working memory. You are transferring the immense cognitive load from your exhausted mind onto the steady safety of the page. Step 2 is the micro-win. Look at that page and intentionally ignore 99% of it. You are going to choose just one item, the smallest, most insignificant task you can find. Apply the 5-minute rule. Commit to doing something that requires less than 5 minutes of effort. You have full permission to stop the moment the timer ends. It could be making your bed, or organizing one single drawer in your desk, or simply brewing a quiet, warm cup of tea and sitting by a window to drink it without any distractions. This is your first brick. By completing this one microscopic task, you give your brain an immediate, undeniable proof of capability. You prove to your nervous system that you are still the one steering the ship, even if you're just adjusting the sail by a fraction of an inch. Step 3 is the information diet. The chaos you feel is often amplified by a world that never stops talking. To hear your own internal voice again, you must temporarily turn down the external noise. This means stepping away from the endless scroll of social media and pausing the daily news, perhaps even stepping outside for a quiet walk under the open sky. Treat your attention like a fragile, precious resource. When you stop flooding your brain with the panicked urgency of the outside world, you create a silent, sacred space, a space where your own clarity can finally surface. You stop reacting, and you start breathing. As you step forward from this moment, I want you to remember one profound truth. The journey to reclaiming your life is not a race, and it is certainly not a battle. You do not have to conquer the entire mountain today. You only need to take the next single steady step. When the world outside feels too fast and the demands of everyday life seem to pull you in every direction, return to this quiet sanctuary of radical gentleness. The storm around you may not disappear overnight. The obligations will still exist, and the responsibilities will still wait. The future will always hold its share of the unknown. But true peace, the kind that anchors you deep into the earth, does not come from trying to control the weather. It comes from trusting your ability to build a calm, unshakable center right in the middle of the rain. By lowering the bar, and by embracing the microscopic victories of a single organized shelf, or just a quiet moment breathing in the fresh morning air, You are slowly, deliberately taking your power back. You are telling your nervous system that it is safe to rest and safe to move forward. Forgive yourself for the days you feel frozen. It is a very natural response to a world that often asks far too much of us. But tomorrow is a beautifully blank page, ready for a slower, softer approach. You hold the pen. You are back in the driver's seat. If this time together brought you a moment of peace today, please subscribe to TrueFlow Life. You do not have to navigate this heavy, chaotic world alone. We are building a quiet refuge here, step by gentle step. Leave a little seedling emoji in the comments below if you are choosing to start fresh today. Thank you for walking this path with me. See you in the next video.